Hi, everyone, and welcome to the special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and the Rainstorm Radio Show with our host, Michael Aguas. Michael, you have a topic today that I love and love to have this conversation. And I love your guest, but who's our guest today?
Our guest today is David Kurzrock. He is the marketing manager of the Wealthbridge Financial Group out of New York City, a very successful, growing group. And a lot of that growth really points to the topic that we're going to talk about today, which is two letters, AI. Dave he was one of the first ones a few years ago when he first came into the agency, got my ear on. He said, Michael, you got to take a look at this. There's a social media campaign. It's a bigger picture. It isn't just AI, but we will use AI to increase your visibility out there. He's the one who got my attention on that. And then eventually my son comes out pretty much saying similar things. And then that led to you. And that's why we're here, because these guys have successfully convinced me that social media marketing, AI go hand in hand and will grow your business. So I asked Dave if he could join us because he could talk about this regarding the context of business owners, not financial advisors, not tax strategists. If you're a business owner, you want to hear this about AI, especially if you're not involved, especially if you don't have a clue. He will open your eyes. That's for sure. So welcome, Dave.
Yeah, I'm super happy to be on here. Thank you for that introduction. I did happen to say to you before that the popularity of this podcast after Todd Bass hopped on has grown exponentially throughout our agency. So I'm happy that you reached out
Oh,
to me
nice.
before anybody else. So
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So
yeah,
let's just jump into this. AI, and we see all these different videos on AI and everything. AI is like the wild west right now. It started 2.5+ years ago, maybe three. I'm losing track now. I started from day one with this, and we have seen an absolute uh changes every day. It's and our clients and most partners are business owners. Why is it imperative for them to have some understanding of their AI resources?
yeah, that's a really good question. First, when Michael says those two letters AI, it goes so much further than just that simple artificial intelligence word. So I would say AI has done for specifically for business owners is save them time, energy, and effort for the ones that are applying artificial intelligence into their practices. The very simple tasks that they're doing and that are manually rather than sending emails, text messages, reminders to their previous clients and potential clients. It's taking a lot of time out of their day. What artificial intelligence is now doing is it's going to streamline those daily tasks and for them to go now practice on other things on growing their business other than sitting behind a computer and or either if it's like writing out mailings to specific clients and such things like that. So I would say the biggest impact, right, is that time, energy, and effort that they're spending when they could be doing various other things and growing their business.
I agree. My agency's 5 times more productive or 10 times more productive, and my staff is so much more productive than before AI. I can't even imagine before AI, from creating images to writing emails to creating social media content to coming up with ways to pitch.
Everything.
There's so many things that get faster.
Hmm.
Research and alone, my goodness, is one that I know in any form. Like if you're saying, I'm going to target my avatar and I want a
Hmm.
specific person, I can do it with AI. But that's what it changes a little bit is there's so many different tools. So it can be quite useful, but are there limitations on when you shouldn't rely on AI?
100%, right? So always fact check AI. You can never trust
Uh,
AI necessarily what it's doing right now because it only knows as much as what we've told it, right? And artificial intelligence has been around for a long time, but I would say the volume of of us as consumers, as people that are utilizing AI have been only able to feed it as much information as it knows. So AI is also learning as we're working with it. So you have to remember, right? Everything that AI is giving to you is only from what we've told it. So it's a matter of also understanding a little bit of what it does. Sometimes I'll even have AI check AI, and I'm happy that I'm jumping on a call with you guys today because I just had a brainstorming session with my other team member on Wealth at Wealthbridge. And a lot of the AI systems that we've been able to implement, we're actually telling AI to do AI things. And it's funny because it's like, we're now not even doing the manual tasks. AI is doing our manual tasks to tell AI on what to do. And that goes so far because, right, it's also saving us that time and energy. But now that it's incorporating AI into AI, it's just very funny on how that works. So
All right.
yeah.
I got a
Here's a
number for
thought.
you. Go,
Here's a
Michael,
thought
you go first.
regarding that
Yeah.
too. AI is a tool. It isn't a substitute in building a relationship. You have to look at the relationship as a whole, and I really strongly believe AI plays a big role in that. But there's nothing like Dave and I getting together, sharing notes, just in person as well. I think sometimes that gets lost in the sauce, and people are like, "Yeah, I got AI to do that." No, AI is just a tool. It'll help, but it's not going to do the job for you. So,
Let me give you a number. 40% of the time, AI is wrong. Okay. So
wow.
40% of the time, according to certain things, I listened to Neil Patel and Marketing School podcast with Eric Sue, and on
Yeah.
40% of the time, and I can see it as I use my agency so much in so many
Hmm.
different things for productivity, but also research. And the problem is it's the way you prompt it. And it's also, you're going to have bugs. You're going to have the greatest system in the world. I'll give you an example. Google has caught up to ChatGPT almost to the end, or even better. They have now
Hmm.
a special intelligence in Google that if you have the highest premium versions, here's the other thing. It's if you pay for more AI, you have better AI. That's
Hmm.
something that people don't understand. If I have the free version and I'm trusting the free version on an answer, 9 times out of 10, your percentage chance of it being correct is even more incorrect. But it
Hmm.
uses general intelligence and able to pick all the information. Now, Google can take Google Drive, can take all these things. But guess what? You're going to get in this role and you're going to think things are great. And then it's
Hmm.
smack dab, it's going to do something absolutely wrong that's going to throw you off beyond belief. And that is the surprise, David. I think in this process is because people say, "Well, AI is stupid just because it made one mistake." They're going to make a lot of errors, but they're going to improve your productivity. So you're really becoming a scientist. I know this question's not prepared. This is me saying it. You basically have to become a scientist to be successful in AI because you have to really test it and try it and make different changes till you get it to where you really think it can perform well.
100%. And I love that you threw that stat out with 40% because if you saw my chat history within ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever it is, I'm actually yelling at AI and being like,
Me too.
get smarter and do better. Like my team member and I were constantly just being like, hey, you're wrong. Like actually output me the right research. And then right, that goes back in hand to should you fully trust AI? And it's not necessarily 100% just quite yet.
Yeah. So for those who want to start their journey, and it was funny, one of my clients texted me 140 different ways to use AI. I'm like, dude, I don't have time for this. And this is
Yeah, yeah.
when you choose when to use AI or not use AI. But for those
Mhm.
who want to start the journey, which AI tools and apps should they consider, and how can these resources help them?
The simplest one is ChatGPT. It's a very user-friendly application that can basically give you a very quick response, depending on your subscription level that you do have with the platform. The free one is going to give you, I believe it limits you on a certain amount of prompts that you can give it per day. I haven't had the free one probably in a year or so, so I don't know the capabilities of it. We do pay for the subscription, the business subscription level for it. And the reason why I say ChatGPT is because it's going to basically give you immediate results as to what you would typically be looking for, whether if it's on like Google or Firefox or whatever web version that you use to search. And it's also going to give you more of an in-depth analysis because it's basing it off of a lot of other search engines factors online. So that's the best way. And then I also utilize ChatGPT for brainstorming sessions that we may have, whether it's done in the office or virtually. We can take a transcript from a meeting and throw it back into AI, which is ChatGPT, and then go ahead and output what are the important parts or the key takeaways of our meeting, what simple action items should we have, and or also what we shouldn't be doing going forward in the future. So
Wow.
that's probably the bare minimum of what we're doing.
So, so it allows you to really drill down further into, okay, we had a meeting for an hour. That's great. You know, now it's like, okay, what do we pull out of this and what do we act on and
Yep.
what don't we act?
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
highlight the three main benefits. Right when we're doing our brainstorming sessions on Mondays that Gian and I will have, I will basically just give us what we should be focusing upon, what projects should be put up on higher, higher, what we need to accomplish first, and what we can push aside. And then it also will tell us to put a reminder in our calendars on
Right.
what we should be working on, rather than us kind of like forgetting. Also within ChatGPT specifically, we'll have to create a project. So when everybody is using those prompts, we could just actually take all the prompts that we've been utilizing for that specific project and put it into a folder so that AI will understand what it output us, so that it will also remember what we were talking about previously and use that to its advantage for the next prompt.
Let me tell you something.
That's powerful
Finally,
stuff,
is
man.
Michael, when I work with Ryan, and I wish Ryan was on this conversation, he should put his camera on because he would ask some unbelievable questions in this as well. Because when we work together, Ryan and I weekly, we have everything in a project, and that project is a huge, bigger brain. Sometimes you have to reprompt it. Trust me, and I'm
Hmm.
not happy. I'm telling you, watch out for Google. Google's going to win. I've said
I
this
know.
from
Yeah.
Google's going to win.
Hmm.
We're going to find out when. But ChatGPT is the best in the way of being able to be the most productive, be able to put the projects together. But everyone is catching up in the process. If you're talking to someone just starting, ChatGPT has the best UX experience out there, and it still will because it is going to tell you you're wrong at times. It's going to give its own opinion sometimes, but putting in an entire project, it understands the nuances and it will break things down better for you. And I have like 40 or different 50 projects on
Same.
ChatGPT, and
Yeah.
but I aren't you glad the folders are loading better now? Oh
Oh,
my
thank God.
gosh. That
Color
was
coded
terrible.
too.
Tell us that horror
Yeah.
story. So we could talk
Yeah.
about the slop too. One of them is the folders. Talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always user error, right, on any platform that we may have. I do think that with AI evolving into basically every industry, not just for business ownership, they specifically be utilizing it, but for everybody. Um, the the capabilities, right, with the projects is that you could just save like previous conversations and such things like that. I don't remember the error that was happening, but I just knew that like I couldn't get the specific color that I wanted for per folder. I don't know, it was like a more
No, my
organizational thing for
project
me.
was not loading. So
Okay, so
all
yeah,
I couldn't search through, I maybe have 60 or 70 projects, I forget,
yeah,
but
they just weren't popping up.
weren't popping up and you had to
Yeah,
search for them. They finally fixed that. And I didn't know you
yeah,
could do colors. I don't do colors
yeah,
in my projects. You can do
yeah.
colors.
Color coded. Yeah, so for each individual project that we may
Uh,
have, we basically would color code what project we're working on
mhm.
compared to, and in relation to like our to-do list on our Microsoft
Right.
Teams account, so we can just kind of visually. That's what we do on the
This is
marketing team.
blowing my
Yeah,
mind. It
yeah,
really is. It's like I got to
yeah.
catch up because this is
Well,
great
well,
stuff.
Michael, you have the access to me, and you could be joining Ryan's meetings with me, and I could definitely teach. I honestly think the older generation, myself included, I'm 53, so I'm not going to go ahead and say I'm pretty knowledgeable for a 53-year-old when it comes to AI. I
You
I definitely
definitely
am
are.
into the tech thing, but
Hmm.
ultimately, just to teach them how this can make their lives easier. And that's
Yeah.
the thing. If it makes your life easier, use AI. If it's
Hmm.
not making your life easier with a certain thing, don't. Can you give me an example of David when you're using AI and it's an absolute horror story and you're like, no, I can't. This is something we don't want to use it for.
Hmm. Projects this morning, right? A lot of what we're doing, and I'll compare my business to business owners. Yeah, financial advisors, right? They are running their own practice, so they are essentially their own business owner. A lot of what we're incorporating into their practice is automated outreach. And that means emails, text messaging, whenever we're looking to do a campaign on whether it's like selling, like let's just say life insurance. Um, if somebody is interested in working with that specific advisor or business owner, what we can then do is incorporate a message to be sent in a system to them saying, hey, listen, Saul, that you're interested X, Y, and Z. Looking to schedule a call with you as such. Sometimes the issue is that AI maybe won't be able to identify that specific person basing off of like the prompt that we had gave it to. So right? Let's say we're looking to target, right, like financial analysts. Sometimes AI will pick up like financial advisors. And then
Oh,
now this is a big problem that we're running into for when running like artificial intelligence campaigns. So it will just pick up maybe like one keyword as opposing to like the entire job title of that specific person. And then it'll send them a message, like it will send this financial advisor a message talking about financial analyst information. And that's an issue that we're running into, right? Because it's only picking up like one specific keyword.
And then if you're
That
talking about LinkedIn, the problem is LinkedIn is trying to keep that automation from working at times, and then they don't allow it to have that searchability at sometimes
exactly. Yeah.
because they don't want the whole thing that's out there. At one point, that's going to change. One of my goals was I wanted to automate everything with AI, and that when I was working with somebody and I saw we were a long way away from it. Like to create a virtual assistant with AI, you're close, but we have so much more to do because of the problem of mistakes. That's why you have to have a system in place that works, that you test, and you
Yep.
constantly tweak.
Yes. You definitely certainly have to start somewhere. And I would definitely say, going back to our previous question of what artificial intelligence software should somebody be utilizing just to get started, and that's ChatGPT, right? We're so far advanced into this space, specifically within our industry, right? We are incorporating, right, AI assistants now that will be able to then recognize the message that's being either delivered and or also received and respond basing it off of their response and respond back to them like it as an
Mhm.
assistant would. It's
wow.
We
powerful
we
stuff.
we we just built for one client. We're going to build for every one of our clients' websites using their website program. We're going to be able to create AI agents for every website. So there'll be an
Awesome.
agent on every website that basically that you put information in. It knows most of the information because it read the whole, it crawled the whole site, and then
Hmm.
you'll be able to test it and send messages. So when people visit your
Awesome.
website, that chat and there's a program. It's pretty easy to use. I thought I
Yep.
was going to have to build something difficult, but that's what our team is doing there, and that's a powerful thing. So, but I agree with you. If you're a business that are just starting out, go to ChatGPT, and this is my
Hmm.
recommendation: as just talk to it like a human being. Have a conversation. Don't
Yep.
use the conversational AI because ChatGPT has gone off the rails.
It has, yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
mad that it won't do anything. It used to be able to do paragraphs for me, write proposals, write everything. So I could be working out, or I could be going out and like going and doing shoveling snow and having a
Hmm.
conversation, and it would keep all the information. Doesn't do anything that. So that's why I use Grok
Wow.
now for all that. I don't. I use Grok as my conversational AI.
Yeah, Gronk
It's
is good.
Grok's
Yes.
good, and I'm waiting for someone to build a good one. But it's because of the GPUs. And explain that. That's another people thing they'll understand. Why is it that sometimes AI doesn't do what we want to do? It's not because it can't. It's because it's going to cost that company, meaning the
Right.
large language models.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, right, like went back to saying previously is AI is only as good as what you can tell it to. And that's why even that question's a thing, right? As should you trust AI or why shouldn't we be trusting AI? Because it's only good as what we can teach it. That's why you have to continuously, right, build out those projects so that AI is learning what you're giving it to, giving the information to.
Build as many agents because any chat is considered an AI agent. That's FYI. So that is an important thing. So how
So
can
with
this knowledge go, Michael? Sorry.
Yeah, just real quick, with as little as I know, um, here's how AI helped me last year. I asked one simple question that I took to heart the answer to, and it helped me greatly. And the question was this, I want to grow my business. I explained what my business was, but I want to manage it like the way the Navy SEALs manage their missions. I want explosive growth with minimal people who have maximum impact. And it gave me, give me some ideas on how I could accomplish that and have my best year ever. So it gave me ideas. I was able to act on several of them, and it was my best year ever. And again, my focus last year was not business. It was about, get better, right? Get physically healed. The other thing too was Dave. A few like early in the year, I needed a PowerPoint updated, and within minutes he had it back to me, and it was like he was like, "Yeah, AI." I'm like, it would have taken me hours. So the
Yeah.
efficiency of your time, powerful, powerful stuff. So,
They
and then
live it.
lastly, I have a friend who, with AI, is going around all these dental offices, basically offering to replace their receptionist because receptionists are human. They'll take time off. Some of them won't be able to go to work. Here, you will never miss a phone call. You will never miss an appointment, and it's a lot cheaper. And you don't have to pay, and they're taking over. I mean, it is. I've heard. I spoke to that AI assistant. She sounds human, and you could
Mhm.
change accents.
Mhm.
Unbelievable,
Yeah.
unbelievable what's happening.
I mean, specifically for our business owners out there, right? I know probably the vast majority of you guys are struggling with your marketing efforts and now know that it's not marketing, it's actually digital marketing. And with
Hmm.
incorporating, right, that AI agent or an AI assistant, they're going to actually be able to do the whole prospecting marketing strategy for you. They'll then eventually be able to take the call for you. They'll be able to do the automated outreach thing for you. And they'll also be able to just send you a report on what you really want to know. The number of conversations that they've had with people, talking about how many people they touched on, talking about the success rate that they've had, and then basically get you on the call with somebody who's interested in doing and working with you for one of your services and doing all of it for you.
All right. So
Amazing.
here's the question. How can this knowledge impact customer experience? You talked about a little bit. Michael brought it up. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not for speaking with speaking with an AI agent or an AI assistant necessarily on the phone just quite yet. For some reason, for me, I struggle with it because I'm yelling at them. If it's PSCNG or if it's um, another one of like let's just say Optimum of Verizon.
Yeah.
Those call centers aren't here anymore because AI has taken over that industry or taken over that profession for sure, is definitely call centers. So I think the issue that people may have, such as myself, is running into the uncommon issues that artificial intelligence could yet pick up on. They
Right.
can fix the common issues for sure, right? Maybe inputting
Right.
payment information, such things that are like continuously happening or
Yeah.
every single day. But it's those issues that may not artificial can understand just quite yet.
And here's the reason. The reason it's happening, I'll give you an example. There's a pizza joint that I used to order with an AI agent, and it's the chatbot's worse 6 months later. And the reason is it's not because that company's paying for that AI agent. It costs more money, and they water things down because it'll be more expensive. The problem is the GPUs.
Mhm.
That if you over go ahead and you know how much it costs to run one chat with
Mhm.
electricity. Well, it's even more with a voice agent. So that cost is going to go up more and more and more. And they sold people at a low price and now are raising the price. So that's something that people will have to watch out for. That's why you're seeing more and more chat without voice doing way better than with a voice.
100%. And just like I'm an advocate for Apple products and just Apple's company in general. Their chat box is phenomenal. They do a fantastic job. They treat it as like an executive. You're speaking to an executive on the phone or through the chat. And that's why they don't have like a call center. It's just going to be done on there. And I'm sure they've taken years of building out their AI assistants, prompts and such things like that, and their responses and whatnot.
So, how does it impact time management for the business owner? I've mentioned it. You've mentioned it. Let's dive deeper into that.
It's the biggest thing on why every business owner should be putting artificial intelligence into their systems, their practices, their daily operations is because of time. And we always can't take back time. Times are obviously our most valuable asset to us. And for business owners specifically, a large portion of how they grow their business is prospecting, is marketing, and what artificial intelligence will be able to do is save them time on doing those certain things so they can go and grow their business and do the things that actually generate income for them. So, right, it's that time for sure. And when I say that example previously, in the beginning of just sending out like emails and text messages, you may not realize, but those very simple tasks, they accumulate over your week to where they can actually add up to hours of your time. So those hours, rather than doing those tedious tasks can be delegated to artificial intelligence, and they will probably be able to send a better email and or text message for you as well. They could see the client profile of who you've already of their business and what the services that you're providing to them, and respond to them basing it off of how they've previously worked with you as well. So rather than just a very standard text message and or email to that specific client of yours, it will be able to identify who they are, how they like to respond to messages, they're comfortable with a text message or a phone call and or an email. Artificial intelligence will be able to read that and deliver a better message for you, as opposing to a manual action, while also saving that business owner time, which is the most valuable thing to them.
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
Time. That's it. I mean, time is everything. Time in your name, right? Your reputation.
Right. So give
Your two biggest
example,
assets.
I create all my proposals, emails, different things using AI. I am
Mhm.
giving some of those sources and it improves it, makes it better, and boom, it's done. You can write business plans in seconds if you put
Mhm.
the right information in. You can create any types of
You're
things.
being literal. You mean business plan in seconds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
100%.
Mhm.
Anything. Now you have to watch out for grant writing. They have things that identify it's AI now. You're going to have to really learn how do I put my information in and let
Hmm.
AI explain it even further so it's not AI detectable. So there's certain industries that are anti-AI or are going to try to detect it. That's why you have to really know, is it working or not working? And A/B split test some of these things. If
Hmm.
you only have to send 40 real strategic direct messages yourself versus somebody else, AI test it. What one's performing better? If the one that's a human, that's what we have to deal with,
Hmm.
especially if it's going to bring results. So finally, how do you see this AI revolution developing over the next 1 to 3 years?
That's a really good question. I feel like I have this conversation with my family members on a day-to-day basis. The first question that we always ask each other is, what industry do you think will not be here after incorporating artificial intelligence like into the practices, specifically for business owners? Um, I think it's just going to streamline, right, the very simple things that people do every single day the same way, right? So for those that are in positions or that are doing the same thing, be scared, right? You may be worried because AI is going to be coming for your job, right?
Change is here
Um,
and it's going to stay.
yeah, exactly, right. I have a lot of friends that are analysts, right? Constantly punching numbers and putting things into formulas and such things like that. And it's like, why can't artificial intelligence already like just do that in general, right? That's one thing that I think that will probably change the game for every industry is the day-to-day tasks and projects that are everybody's doing in that either department or whatever every single day. That's the same.
Yep. If I was going to ask that to say that question, I think that ultimately it's going to not need as many people at a job. You're going
Mhm.
to have a human being able to do the productivity of 10 employees in the
Right.
next 2 to 3 years. However, that person has to be really AI trained. It's going to be a hard position because it's going to be very stressful at times because of the amount
Mhm.
of change and different things that it's going to happen. So everyone needs to be AI educated. They got to go through trainings. They got to practice, 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 and start with ChatGPT and
Mhm.
really understand. And if you don't get it, if it's really confusing for you, have someone walk through a prompt session with you. The next thing we didn't talk about is vibe coding. I have tested a little bit of it. I just have had not the time to do it yet, but I want to learn how to vibe code so I can build lead magnets, so I can build specific things. But I want to teach somebody how to do it. And that's more the teacher in me. And if it takes more time for you to build it, have somebody else build it for you. That is the thing. Once it's implemented, like working with David and Wealthbridge, basically, there you go. It's done. They have the system, they have the wrappers on specific things. They know how to implement it and they're testing it every day, right, David?
Every single day. It's funny, right? AI is supposed to save us time, energy, and effort, which it does, right? But for those that are incorporating it into the practices of business owners, it's way more complicated than just saying, oh, okay, artificial intelligence, go ahead and do this. there's a lot of analytics that go into it, and you said it best, right? And specifically for what I do on a day-to-day basis, marketing and digital marketing, it's a lot of A to B testing, making sure which message, language, system in place, how much time should a potential client be receiving a message and playing with those. But artificial intelligence will also keep track of all the analytics that it's doing for all of our outbound and inbound messaging, all of our digital marketing strategies when it comes to paid advertisements and such things like that. But it has definitely helped us streamline our business and saved us time and saved us our clients time, right? In my business, my advisors, such as Michael, all what we're doing is plugging and placing artificial intelligence into their practices, so it saves them time, so they can go focus on things that do actually matter.
All right, fantastic. Michael, we can, if you want to get in touch with Michael, you have another question, Michael? Or we
Well,
good?
no, I just want to pivot a little bit. Um, what you just heard was from David Kurzrock of the Wealthbridge Financial Group. So I just got to talk a little bit about Wealthbridge Financial. And I want to bring it up because several people watching this are in the insurance industry. They're in financial advisory. They want to grow their practice, and Wealthbridge Financial is a great home for many. I have an affiliation with them. I work with a group of insurance advisors, high level, and these guys are very productive because of systems that we have. We tie them into AI. They don't have to master it. They have David. So if you are in the insurance world, if you are an advisor, you're a registered representative, and you're considering a new home and you're looking at what's out there, Wealthbridge Financial is definitely worth a look. Reach out to me, reach out to Dave, and we'll talk to you about how you could take advantage of this, and most importantly, give your clients a better experience and grow your business very efficiently and very intelligently, not just now, but for years to come. Very progressive group. They are affiliated with the National Life Group, and they are the best office in that entire network. And I'm proud to be a part of them.
All right. Appreciate it. There's going to be information if you go to rainstormmediagroup.com. There's going to be information on Wealthbridge there, and you'll be able to listen to this podcast again and basically contact David. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks again.
Yeah,
That
absolutely. Thank you, guys.
you're welcome.
Thank you,
That
Dave.
was the special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and the Rainstorm Radio Show, guys. Take care.